Hello everyone, this is Mesolite Visual. In this video, I want to demonstrate ArchiCAD process for beginners. If you are completely new to ArchiCAD, this is the tutorial for you. There are many tutorials about ArchiCAD online, and most of these tutorials are about advanced users. So if you want to produce high quality drawings layout in ArchiCAD without any knowledge or skills, this is the right tutorial for you. Moreover, if you have been using the software and you are struggling to produce good drawings and presentations effectively without any additional add-ons or plugins, you are also covered. My name is Dominic, and the objective of this tutorial is to create a complete floor plan you see on your screen with all the details effectively in no time. After this tutorial, you'll be able to create a high quality floor plans in ArchiCAD following all the best practices. Let me thank all the returning subscribers and viewers for your input in this channel. And if you are new, you are also welcome. Subscribe and activate the notification bell to be notified for more videos. Make sure to check the link on the description to join our community group where the like-minded people like you meet and discuss all issues about the ArchiCAD architecture journey. Before any further ado, let's get started. For this demonstration, I'm using ArchiCAD International version. In most cases, you'll find this is what you get in terms of the elevation markers. So we want something conventional. So I will activate the arrow tool here and then to select all these elevations. Let's click here to specify the first point of our selection, and then we're drawing a box or a rectangle diagonally like that, and then specify the second point to enclose all these elevation markers in the floor plan to select them. Or you could use another way by going here under the tool palettes and then under viewpoint section, activate the elevation tool and then hit Ctrl+A in your keyboard to select all the elevations. You could use this same trick to select all elements that are on the same tool. Activate the tool and then hit Ctrl+A. It will select all the elements that are on that same or on that particular tool. So what you need to do is to go onto the settings here, settings dialog, to change the marker style into something we are used to. So I'll go here and then under marker symbol and text section, let's expand that section and then come here under marker style and change this to circle 4. That's something that we are used to. And then I'll go back up here under marker section. I'm going to set the marker size to be 15 millimeters size, and then change the marker pen to color 2, which is 0.15 millimeters weight. You could check your preview here to see all your changes that you are making, and then once you are happy with everything, you can hit OK to apply changes to your elevations in your floor plan. So if you zoom in here, you see there are empty markers, and by sure you want to reference some IDs or viewpoints IDs or drawings into this elevation. To activate that, let's go back and activate the elevation tool here and then Ctrl+A. We're going to go back to our settings of these elevations, and then we want to access the marker style and symbol section. And then in this section, we have this arrow to open other pages for the parameters. Let's click on that arrow. We would see this marker text. Let's activate the show reference ID box, and then you could also reference or show the name of the elevation in the floor plan or in the marker as well. I don't want to do that. I'll just leave it the way it is, and then I'll hit OK to apply the changes. So if you zoom in here in one of the elevations, you would see there's nothing really referenced there because our elevations on the project browsers, they don't have the ID that we want to reference. So to activate the ID or to assign ID to this, we will select one of this elevation here is on the south elevation. So I would select south elevation in the viewpoint here, and then come down under properties. You would see the section for viewpoint ID, it's empty. So I would select that and then give it 01. So you'd see now we have referenced our ID in our marker, and then you could do the same to all the remaining markers. So I'll go with north. North will be 03, east will be 04. Oh, sorry. Just like that, and then west is going to be west is going to be 04, east is going to be 03. Now you have your, oh, how does it come? 1 2 3. No, north is supposed to be 2. Sorry about that. North is supposed to be 02, and then yes, 1, and then the east is going to be 0, 2. Yes, so I'm going to count reading from the anti-clockwise or in the right direction. It's going to be 0, 1, 0, 2. This is going to be 3, which is north. North is going to be 0, 3. Yes, yeah, now it makes sense. 0, 1, 0, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we are happy with these settings for now. Don't worry about the blue lines because they're just the reference or guidelines for the range, the view ranging, or the range of your viewing elevation. So it's good, don't worry about that. Let's move on to the next stage, which is now starting to draw our layout. We're going to use walls to place our layout. You could start by using 2D lines to draft or sketch your walls, but I would show you how to even sketch using just your wall tool without wasting any time. So let's go here under design tool palettes and then activate our wall tool. So by activating our wall tool, the info box, which is this panel here, it will give us the parameters for that specific tool that is active on the tool palettes, right? So the first thing that I want us to change is the structure of this wall before we can place it. So the structure here is going to be a basic structure because I don't want to complicate things here by introducing you to a lot of things at the same time. These things that are not necessary at this stage because you just want to produce a great result at the same time learning. That's the essence of this video. So I'm going to change this to basic and then change the material to brick structural. Okay, and then once you have these two things, and you can scroll your mouse here to access other parameters. You have the thickness of your walls, which is it's at 300, or you could open the settings and access all the parameters to define for your walls. Okay, I'll hit OK because I've just defined only the parameters that are necessary for now. So, yeah. And then it's time now to place our walls or to do our layout. We have different types of placement geometry method in ArchiCAD. We have this area here. If you click on this arrow, there is an arrow here. It will show you different types of geometries under drawing a single wall. So we have the first one, which is point by point. You specify 2 points to click and place just a straight one. And then we have this one where you can use multiple points to create multiple walls, and then you can use this rectangle box to create a box or a slided or slanted box, which is the last one. So I'm gonna activate this one, all right, multiple walls at the same time, because that's what you want to achieve. And then once you are done here, it's the time now to start placing this wall. Make sure whatever you are doing in ArchiCAD, we have this origin point where it references the location or the position of our project. So this is important, guys, as a beginner to understand, because at the end of the day, you're not working alone in the projects. In terms of the discipline, finally there's gonna be a moment where you share these files with the other disciplines, or you're gonna employ another secondary software to do specific elements. Like for example, once you've done with the modeling of your project, you want to render, and maybe ArchiCAD is not one of the best rendering software out there. You want to use a secondary program to do your renderings or your visualization. So this softwares will reference the file location with this origin point. So every time when you're doing your projects, make sure you start drawing around this point. You could see even your elevation markers by default are arranged and positioned around this origin point. So I'll start by my first wall here on this point, and then I'm going to draw on this side, going on the right side horizontally. And then I'm going to change the reference location. ArchiCAD has what we call reference location. It's what indicates how the walls is going to be oriented. So if you come here under the reference location section, you could change your reference line to be on the center, or to be on the inside, or on the outside. In this case, let's just use, because we're drawing on the right side, we're drawing from the left to right, so it means we need to use the inside face. Okay, so I'm going to now key in on the tracker here, which is the way it gives us the angle and the distance of our wall. We need to key in the distance at which this wall is going to be. So I'm going to say 7,000. because I'm using millimeters. It's going to be 7,000 millimeters, which is basically 7 meters, right? And then I'll hit enter. Because it's a continuous placement of multiple walls, I'll go up again to the next wall, which is going to be around 6.2, which is 6,200 meters, oh sorry, millimeters, and then hit enter. And then I'll go on the left side horizontally and key in 3.9, which is 3,900. Hit enter, and then I'll go down back by 1.2. Hit enter. We'll move to the right and reference with this guideline to close over. You could zoom in so that you can see clearly what you're doing. So I'll reference with this guide and then click here, then go down to complete our placement. So we have now placed the exterior walls of our design. So what we need to do now is to move on into the interior walls. Okay. Once you've placed your exterior walls, it's the time for us to do the internal walls. So the internal walls, in most cases, they will find half the thickness of the exterior walls. So I'll activate my wall tool, and then here on the info box, activate the wall tool, and then here in the info box, make sure the thickness is 150, which is half the thickness of our for our exterior walls. Make sure you click outside the wall, and then click outside the wall, and then come here and zoom in clear to this corner. Put your cursor there on this corner. Wait for the cursor to circle the blue line, and then you can scroll down as you're going down, because you want to determine the position at which this horizontal wall, internal wall, we are going to place. So I'll start from here corner. I'll put the cursor in this corner. Put the cursor in the corner like that, and then wait for the blue circle to appear, and then you can move down. We can key in now the distance at which this wall is going to be positioned. In this case, it's going to be 3.260 or 3,260 millimeters, and then I'll hit enter. You can straight away now to draw the wall that I will reference it with this corner by shift and hold in your keyboard to restrict your wall to go only on the ortho mode or on the horizontal mode. Okay, so if you leave your shift, now you are free to in terms of the angle of your wall. But if you shift and hold like that, you restrict it to be horizontal. So I can click on this corner to reference my wall, and then I could come here and then close it off there, right click, and then hit OK to complete the process. You could see now my walls are not aligned here in this corner. We need to move this 115 wall or internal wall to the edge of this wall. So to do that, let's activate our auto tool, or you can just hit escape in your keyboard, and then if you select this wall, because we are using this geometry method of placing a wall, by default ArchiCAD will group all these walls. As you can see, even these ones are all grouped, so you cannot access this wall separately, but that's what we want. We just want to adjust its position to align with this external wall. So to fix this, you could come here and then suspend group, or you can hit Alt plus G in your keyboard to ungroup. So now we can select this wall independently, and then to move it to this point, we can just click one of the points here, and then in your pet palette or pop-out palette, you have this drag tool or move tool in other softwares. So I'll activate it, and then I would move it to this point like that, or you can just hit Ctrl D as a shortcut of moving elements in ArchiCAD. So once you've moved this wall, you would see now the joint between these two walls is not okay. We need to have a perfect joint for our element of our wall. So I'll select both these walls by specifying this first point, and then make sure the box of the selection covers both walls, right? This is another way of selecting in ArchiCAD. By default, it will give you this mode of selection, but we have different types of selection mode in ArchiCAD. So if you want to change the mode into something else, you could come here, and then under selection methods, we have 3 types of selection method: partial elements, we have partial elements, and then this one where we enclose all elements, and then we have the third one. So I would for now, let's just use the partial element, and then specify the first point, and then diagonally cover these 2 walls by the selection. It will select all the walls. To fix this joint now, you would come here on the top menu bar and intersect these walls. So you could see now the joint has been cleaned up. Okay, that's what we want. And then we have our wall there. That is perfect. So we could come here and then select this wall, and then we want to adjust this wall to this edge of the wall. So we could use another tool, which is adjust. Let's adjust or hit Control plus dash to do that. And then once you've activated adjust, you need to select the wall or the element at which you want to adjust the selected element. So in this case, I will pick this wall to here, automatically to adjust it to there. Okay, just make sure the connections are clean as it is, which is perfect. All right, and then this area is the bedroom, and then this side is the closet, and then this side is the in-suite. So as it is, I see my bedroom is too small, because you could see the closet is bigger than the bedroom. So I need to confirm some measurements here. So to confirm measurements in ArchiCAD, we use a tool called measure. So to activate that tool, you could hit M in your keyboard. You would see your cursor changes to something like this, a plus and a ruler. So I could now measure this distance from here to there. It's supposed to be 7 meters, which is fine. I think it's fine. And then I need to confirm another one distance. I'll hit M again, and then let's confirm this distance to there, 4.5. It was supposed to be 3.9. Okay, we're supposed to draw to place this wall here at a 3.9 meters. So to fix that, I'll draw a guideline here using either a line tool or a guideline. There is what you call a guideline, which is this tool in ArchiCAD. So we can come here and then click on this arrow, and then we can say create a guideline segment, or hit Alt L. Alt plus L is the shortcut for this command. So click on that, and then I'll draw a guideline from here going all the way to there, and this should be 3.9 guideline. Okay, so you could see it stops here. Select all the elements that I need to move, which is this. So to select, I can first select this point, and then to add another wall into a selection, I need to hold shift in your keyboard. Hold shift and then click to add another selection, right? And then from here I could Control D, like I said, as a shortcut of to drag, or I could just pick this point and then I would activate the drag in the pad palette, so that I can now drag it alongside this guideline, or you could hold shift to restrict it to go only horizontal like that, and then I would select the guideline points. Okay, so obviously by moving things it will create this kind of problems. So we need to fix the connection. We'll start with this one, and then I'll add another selection of this wall by shift hold, then click on it, and then go here under the menu bar and intersect. And let's do the same to this wall, and then hold shift and add another wall like that, and then intersect them. So now we have a clean joint or clean connection of our walls. So we need to get rid of our guideline because it served its purpose. To do that, you can go back here under the guidelines and then click on this arrow, and then you can say remove all guidelines. It will disappear in your floor plan. Obviously we have an issue here where this wall is protruding through our walls. It has to stop on this wall. To clean up this, we want to cut the unnecessary material. To cut in ArchiCAD, we have this scissor tool where we can use it to trim, or Control and hold in your keyboard to activate this scissor tool. You could see your cursor changes to a scissor tool. Now we could click on element that you want to exit out. I'll exit out this to remove that. Perfect. It looks fantastic. I hope everyone we're on the same boat as far as I'm concerned, right? If you're bit fast, let me know in the comment section for me to next time improve my pace or slowing down of my demonstration. All right, so let's focus again here on the in-suite. We have some components that we need to do. We need to create a section for the shower and then a section for the toilets. Let's start with the toilets here by this corner. So what we need to do is to draw another line, another box where we will have an enclosed toilet in our plane. So to zoom in and zoom out, you can use your cursor wheel in your your mouse wheel in and out like that. I think this one it's across all the programs. If you are computer literate, you should be knowing that by now. Okay, So let's zoom in by this section where we want to add our toilet. So I'm going to activate the wall tool, or I would rather pick the previous parameter, or to pick the properties of this wall and then use it instead of setting another wall from scratch again. So to do that, I would use this pick up parameter tool, or the shortcut is Alt+C. Let's click on that, and then we're going to pick parameter of this wall. Okay, and then I'm going to use this midpoint of this wall. You could see the midpoint by this dash, or by this vertical whatever line, and then normally to reference it with these 2 points to show the length of that midpoint, right? And then I'll click on it, and then going up by let's say 1.2, then hit enter. Then we go on the right side horizontally and then click to complete it by this wall. We could now right click to OK to complete that. Okay, so we have that there. We have to have another point for our shower, so it's going to be straight or in line with this wall. So to cancel the command, because by seeing your cursor at a plus symbol, it means it's still, the command is still active for the wall. So you want to cancel that, you can hit escape, or just come here and click on the arrow tool to cancel. So now I'm going to select this line, or sorry, this wall, and then I want to duplicate this wall to this end, and duplication should be in line with this wall. So I could pick this wall, and then I could drag it, and then going all the way to there. But during the process, I can now add a copy, because right now it's not a copy, it's the original element here. So I can add a copy of the selection by clicking Control in your keyboard. If you click Control, you see now we've added a copy. By our cursor indicates a plus, so now that means we're carrying a copy. I can now come here and then place it or dock it to this wall, right? And then click outside to complete that, right? So we have to have another wall coming from this side to there, but this wall is going to be an internal wall. Am I together? So I'm going to activate the wall tool. By to ArchiCAD by default, it will pick previously properties of the element that you've placed. In this case is this 115 wall. So if you scroll down here, you would see we're still in an 115 thickness of our wall. So I would pick this corner and then draw it, or it's supposed to be on the inside, right? I will go, while I'm still in the process, let's go to the info box and scroll down and find the reference location section. Let's change this to the outside, right? And then I can now close it off here, right click, and then hit OK. So I could now escape that command by coming here under arrow tool, or hit escape in your keyboard. I can now specify the first point here to select or diagonally affect these 2 walls, to select them, because I want to fix this corner to be a nice trim. So I'm going to use this intersect tool to trim that. Okay, as you could see, that's perfect. So I don't know what happened here. We have an issue of the connection. I think it's by introducing another wall to this junction here. You could see now we have a lot of problems. Okay, to fix this, I would rather say select these 2 walls and then try to fix them with intersect. If it doesn't happen, I think we could use this one as well, and then clearly it's not gonna work. We are having an issue here. So I would rather maybe try to say pick the stretch tool in your keyboard once you've picked this point, and then let's stretch this all the way to there, right? And then I'll select this wall, select these 2 walls, and then let's try to fillet and see what will happen. Still we're having that issue. Or I could now drop this wall, stretch it to there. Still we're not winning on this. This is it really happens in ArchiCAD, most especially when you're joining more than 3 walls in the same corner. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 walls that shares the same corner, of which is it is the problem. Okay, so but if you zoom in here, you could see it's not that bad, right? Or another way to fix it is to move this wall to the edge of that. Okay, and then I can now trim off this to there. Perfect, it worked. And then I could select all these walls, all these 2 walls, and then fillet. Great, now it worked, and we have our insert and all the positions of our amenities are in place. So what I need to do is to confirm this distance that is left here for a circulation. I would hit M in your keyboard to measure this distance to there. It's 860. It's not bad. 860 is the size of a door, but I could now increase it to maybe a meter. Let's select all these walls like that, and then Control D in your keyboard to activate the drag command or move command. And then I'm going to drag this by clicking the point outside here, and then go down vertically like that, and then I would add 140. Let's make it 200, right? Move by 200 to increase your circulation space. That's basically what we have there. And then we have the access to the main bedroom here. So this access is going to be at 2.2 from this side. Okay, so I'm going to pick this wall parameter by Alt and hold, or you could come here and activate the pickup parameter tool, right? And then pick one of the exterior walls and hover on this corner like that, and then go all the way to this side and key in the distance at which this wall is going to be positioned, which is 2.2 or 2,200 meters, and then hit enter. So now we have this position. I can now use it to place it here. This will go up by let's say 600. Right click and then hit OK. I still believe the distance between let's confirm first the distance. I'm not sure this is it what I wanted. I'll hit M like I said to measure, and this is 2.2. This is supposed to be 7 meters. 7 meters. Okay, I think it's fine. It's fine. What I need to do is that this wall, I need to extend it. Maybe make it let's make it 1.1. Right, the wall is 1.1, and then we have to have the same wall on this instead of having all the way 115 wall to here. So to achieve this, we need to create an opening here, right? So to achieve that, I would split this wall into two. To do that, let's come here, and then there's this tool called split. I'll select it, and then I'll come here in this wall and then click it to split it. Now we have splitted this wall into two. So this one is going to be, I'm going to pick this point and make sure the stretch command is active, and then I would hold shift to restrict it vertically, and then I can reference it with this point like that. Okay, so we need to have a distance, a significant distance for our opening or access to the closet. So I would activate the guideline, or come here and then say create a guideline segment from here, which is going to be 900. Hit enter. So I'm going to stretch this wall by picking this point, and make sure the stretch command is active from your pet palette, and then stretch it all the way to there. Okay, so I can come back to the guideline tools and then remove all guidelines. Okay, so that's basically the layout of our building, our drawing. So we need now to do the openings, place our doors and windows. In this case, we're just going to do the doors and windows, right? Let's activate our door in our design tool palettes. Let's find a door tool here, which is this one, and then we want to set or run through some basic settings for our doors in order for the doors to look clean. By default, if we come here and then place, this is by default our door. This is not something that we would want in terms of architectural standard, right? For an office practice, you'd want something that is high way of this standard. This is substandard. So I would do what? Let's select the arrow tool and then select this door and open its settings. On the settings of our door, what we want to do is to come here under the hinged section door settings, right? And then from there, what we need to do is to set up our door leaf. Let's find something that we can use for our door leaf, because it's an entrance to our bedroom, I would go with this style 7. I can set the door handle to be handle 2. Once we've changed the handle type or handle style, we want to fix the detail level for both 3D and 2D detail. So I'm going to change the 3D detail level to be a full resolution, and then do the same to the 2D detail level, and then set this to a scale of 1:50. This is very important because it's going to change or expose a lot of details of our doors. As it is now, you could see there's really nothing in terms of the details of this door. It's just the outline for our door. That's what we want to fix. And then from here, once we're done with this, we need to move on to the next parameter of our doors. This arrow indicates the direction in which there are a lot of pages of our parameters. So if you click here, you see there's other parameters just like that. But this will take us take a lot of time to go through this. What you need to do is the first way to access them is to click on this arrow, and then you see all the parameters listed here. The first parameters that we need to do is to go under the model attributes. Under model attributes, we already set the 3D detail level to full resolution, and then you could come here and change the curve resolution if you want, but in most cases I'd like to leave it at a default up until I want to do some 3D renderings. That's where I can come and change my all doors to be at 100% resolution. You could come here and change the frame materials, or sorry, the frame and the surface, the frame and the leaf material of your door. So you can make your material surfaces to be uniform by checking up this box just like that, and then you could come again back to this arrow. We want to access the floor plan and section parameters. Here we already set the 2D detail level to be at 1:50 scale. That means we've blown up our details to show almost more details of our door. So another thing that you need to do is to uncheck the use of fields. I don't want to use the fields, and then I'll go down here and change the material, the pens to be pen 2 for both the frame and the leaf. Okay, so if you go here under preview and positioning, you could see now our door has now details. We have seen the details of our frame, and then the leaf, and then the path. One last settings that we need to do for our doors. Let's go back here under hinged doors, and then click on this arrow is under opening lines, right? So we want to override the 2D symbolic display. Let's override by checking this box, and then let's leave it at curved. You could make it straight or opening and access line. We're talking about the opening line, right? What I need to do is to change it to a dotted line. I like it to be dashed like that, and then I could come here under the 3D projections to be on this color 2 on your color 2 or color palette. Sorry. If you go back to the preview and positioning, you would see we have this now. Okay, we still have this oranges color that I hate from our thing. We could come here under floor plan section, and then we can override all the pens by clicking on this box, and then set this to be at color 2. So if you go back to our preview, you would see now we have a nice and clean door symbol, and then if you hit OK to apply to this door, you would see we have a pure clean door symbol. Okay, so we could now copy this parameter or pick parameters of this door by Alt and hold and click on this. Remember, the tool is this one by picking up parameters, or you could just hit Alt and click on the elements you want to pick parameters from it, and then we will scroll here. We're gonna place another door here. Click here, and then I would indicate the direction to be on the side, and then I can choose where the door should be positioned. The door leaf should be positioned. In this case, I want to be positioned on this side, alongside this wall. I have another one door here that will open to the inside of this toilet. I will have another one there, but for this one, it's a totally different door. We could now just place it now for now, and then let's select it. Let's select this door. Let's measure, because we want to fill in with this glass door here for this shower. So I'm going to hit M to measure this distance, which is 1650, 1.650 or 1650 millimeters. So I will open the settings of this door, and then I'm going to choose a different door type for this. So let me just increase this window by stretching it from there, and then I can scroll down here. The door that I want to use is this door with 2 side lights, right? this door with 2 side lights. Remember guys, if you want to maintain all the settings we went through without changing, without having to do this all over again, what you need to do is to pick parameters of this by Alt and hold, pick parameters of that, or just use this pick parameter tool and then pick parameters of that. So if you go back here under settings, what we just need to do, instead of to start all over again the settings of this door, because we are changing the door type here. To change it, you just say Control Alt to activate the injection parameter tool. So you could see now we've changed our cursor to this injection. So I would inject on this door and then wait a bit. You see now we've changed the door type, but we're still in the same settings we've set for our doors we just placed. This is a lifetime saver, guys, I'm telling you. So if you, it's not significant when you're dealing with a small project, but if it's a big project where there are a lot of doors, maybe hundreds of doors, that will save up your time. Okay, so I would come here and then make sure the width, remember the width we just measured, which is 1650, that will be our door, and then hit OK to fill in our door. That's basically that. So we have our door filled in that area, okay, because it's the toilet. So what I need to do again is to furnish our drawing, or furnish our building. But before we do that, we have another door here, gentlemen. We have another sliding door here, and that opens to this, more like a porch or a veranda, whatever it may be, whatever it may be. And we are yet to place our floor slab to define that kind of spaces. Okay, so let's zoom in here and then let's open the settings. What we need to do is to change again to a different door type. In this case, we're going to change the folder because we've been working on the hinged folder. This time around, we're going for a sliding folding doors. Let's check on that. And then I'm going to Control Alt again to inject those settings we've already set for our doors. Like I said, click on that, and then we can hit OK to place our door. It won't be what it is because it picked parameters to even the door size or the door width, which is something that we don't want on this one because it's a more like it covers the entire length of this wall. So what I need to do is I can just pick it from, or pick this one of the points, and then on the pet palette there's this move node or stretch command. I can stretch it to this corner and then do the same to the side. Let's just stretch it to there. Or you could come here and set the distance to be 3.2 wide of your door, something like that. And then I could pick this purple hotspot. If you pick it, and then you could open your, stretch it to the side and open your door. I'll do the same to the side and do like that. Okay, this gives a good impression of it's a good, I like this kind of representation because when it's close, you won't even, I don't think the communication is clear enough what type of a door it is. But when it's like this, you could relate to that. Okay, we could change the size of these panels to be much bigger. Let's select it and then open its settings and see how we can change the panels. Let's come here under sliding and folding door settings. We want to say let's reduce the number of panels because clearly they are plenty. On the side one, I will make it 3. On side 2, I'll make it 2, and then hit enter to apply that. See, now we have this kind of representation. Good. So the next stage now is to place our floor slab before we do our finisher objects or our objects finishes, whatever you may call. So let's activate our slab tool to do that. Like wall tools, I'm gonna change the structure to be just a basic because I don't want to confuse you, and then make sure the material is concrete structural. And then what again needs to be set is the thickness of our slab. Right now is at 300. I will leave it at 300 or just make it 150. Okay, so from here what you need to do, make sure you differentiate your elements. Wet areas you use a different finish, areas like the rooms and the closet is going to be on the same finish. So I'm going to use on the info box under the placement geometry, we're going to use the polygonal method, whereby we're going to pick multiple points to place our slab. So I'll start with this point, and then I'll come here and then go all the way to there, to this corner, then I'll cross over to that side, then we go back to this corner, and then lastly go back to where we started. So we have placed a slab there, so we need to place another slab for this insert. Let's go back again, or we can, to avoid that settings, we can pick parameters of that, and then this time around I'm going to change the geometry method to a rectangular because this is a box. I'll pick this corner diagonally as I'm drawing. I'll pick another corner to place that. We have another one there where we can let's say we are starting from this corner, and then this side is going to be around 3.6. I'll key in 3.6, sorry, by 2.1 is fine. Okay, clearly you could see 3.6 is not working well. What I need to do is to escape or activate the arrow tool, select your slab. I'll pick this edge of a slab, just pick this line. It will give me the tools to edit or modify our slab. So in this case I want to activate the tool called offset the edge. So I want to offset this edge to all the way to this wall like that. Perfect. So we need to represent the floor finish of all these spaces, and we're going to use the slab to communicate that. So in this case here we're going to use more like a floorboard for our bedroom and then the closet. So I would start by using, I'll start by changing the surfaces of, or the finish of the surfaces of our slab. Let's open the settings of our slab, and then under model, let's say the top finish, we want to have this. Let's select that to have this as a let's find for floorboards, which is this, right? I'll select this one and then hit OK to apply. It won't show on the 3 on what you call on the floor plan, but if you check on 3D, the first time we opened our 3D, and to appreciate what we've already done, but I want us to check this finish for our slab, right? Don't worry about having our all of the brickwork. We could also come and change the surfaces for the interior finish, even the exterior finish of our walls. Don't mind about that for now. Okay, so our focus is on the layout. Okay, let's go back here. But what we want to replicate that finish for our slab, we're going to use the floor plan and section department or section. Let's open it, and then we're going to activate the cover fill panel. So you could see now we've applied that fill here, right? That fill is now active. Okay, so we want, at the same time, we want to think of now the graphics of our drawing. So I like to work like that, guys, to always think about the graphics of our drawings. But before we do that, let's just complete with this one. This one is going to be also another cover fill. Let's activate the cover fill, but I'm going to change the cover fill type, which is this one, to be something to represent tiles. Let's find the tile 30 by 30. I think it's fine. If we check, that's how it is. We check also this one. Let's go back here under floor plan and section, cover fill. Let's find a different finish. We've used 30 by 30 for toilets. Let's go for a bigger one for our veranda or our porch, something like that. So you could now see our drawing is communicating even the finish without even labeling our spaces. All right, so like I said, let's think about the graphics now before we can place our equipment and our furniture. So the first thing to change is the walls, right? One thing that I want to start with the walls is to reduce the what you call the scale of our fill. To access the fill of this wall is to first understand its building material. We've assigned it this building material, which is called brick structural, and you could see under this we have a hedge that is being used. This is the hedge that you see in our walls, as you can see, and then this is the color of that particular hedge. All right, so we need to open our building materials and then access this material and change the color to something that we want. So to do that, let's go to options and menu, and then open the element attributes. We find here we've got building materials. Let's open building materials, and because we've been selected, we've opened this window, selected our wall. You would see by default ArchiCAD would highlight that material. That is very fantastic, guys, by how ArchiCAD have this thought. All right, and then if you come here under structure and appearance, this is the color that is being used. You could see this color of our hatch and this here. Let's change this to be that, and then the fill that is being used here is common brick, right? And then I want to change the material of the surface finish for this material. Instead of using brick common bond, I'm going to find a paint. I'm going to apply a paint on it. So let's find or type for let's type for stucco finish, right? I'll go for rough stucco for this. And then if remember this fill, guys, because we're yet to go and change the scale of this fill. We cannot change it here because it's just a fill that has been selected from the fills section. So we've set the color to be 2 for our fill, and then the finish for our building material to be stucco fine. So let's say stucco white rough. Let's hit OK to apply the changes. You would see now our fill changes. And then if you check on 3D as well, you would see our finishes of our wall changes as well. So let's go back here. We are yet to finish it off with the scaling of our fill types. Let's select the wall again and then go to options menu again, elements attributes, and open this time around the fills types. Okay, so by default, I don't know why I get same as the building materials, I should have the material being selected here, or the fill, sorry, for this material being selected on the wall to be selected there. Okay, let's click on that, and then we find that fill, because we've seen the name is common brick. Let's find it on the list, or you could type C because it's under C. Where is common brick, gentlemen? Let's find common brick. Here it is. Hit enter. All right, so here is the pattern for this common brick fill, and then we have the pattern unit size this time around, which indicates this gap or this block is 1.8. I'm going to change this to be 0.8, right? Same applies to this side, 0.8. So you could see now our box reduces its size. If you hit OK, you would have a nice reduced fill. If you still feel it's not significant, you can go back, element attributes, fills, and find that common brick. Change this, maybe instead of 8, I'll say 5 for both sides, because it has to be on the same side. Okay, so that's fantastic. All right, so now we need to change the color or the pen for our hatch for our floors. So I can select all the walls, all the slabs, sorry, and then come here and then change this to 2. Perfect. That's what we have. I don't want to see any funny color because we have this blue line. So let's select all the slab again and then find the outline, which is the uncut line, to be this color 2 for everything. Okay, you now see our drawing becomes more neater. It's clean, starting to become clean. Okay, so I forgot to change this wall. Is supposed to be 230 as well. I'll pick parameters of this and then I'll Control Alt and inject it to this wall, something like that. Okay, that's great. This door can be, it's fine at 900 width. All right, so we have a situation here. Normally you would have your tile or your tile going all the way underside your door. So I'll select this. If I say let's select the edge and then maybe stretch or offset this to there. Perfect. That's how it's supposed to be represented, unless you have a step there, unless you have a step here. Yeah, I think the best way is to have a step here, and then maybe this can go all the way to there. I think this way it's perfectly represented. What do you think, guys? Okay, so from here let's move on and do the finish. I'll start with let's start with the closet, because I know it requires a lot of input. So I think I need to align this wall with this line. I could select that, then pick this corner, shift and hold, and then click on this line to align. Perfect. So that my cabinetry can be on the same line. So to start the cabinetry of our closet, let's go here under the design tool palette and activate the object tool. Open its settings. From the settings, what we need to do, we have some bunch of folders what ArchiCAD provide us, this extensive library. So what we need to do is under cabinets and shelves, because that's where our stuff are located for the wardrobes. So scroll down here, let's find a wardrobe. We have 3 different types of wardrobe, 4. We have this one, wardrobe 01, 2, 3 and 4. No, there are plenty, you know, there are many. Okay, so let's see which one should I start with. Okay, I'll start with this one. Okay, so on the here is the preview before you can even start to look at it. What I want to do is to turn this to be a corner. So let's come here under wardrobe settings, and then under shape here, which is the first page of our parameter, let's change this to be a corner, or corner L, right? And then what we need to do here is we can come here under floor plan and section and override the pens, make it pen 2, because it's the lightest pen that we're going to use for our finish. So if you come in and then place this in here, and then we can select this. It's wrongly orientated, let's rotate it the way we want. I'll pick one of these points and then activate rotate, or just hit Control E in your keyboard, and then I'll click this point and then the second point. Then I can now do the rotation magic, right? I'll pick this corner so that I can move with drag to this corner like that. And we need to have another similar this. Let's mirror a copy to this corner. I can right click to mirror a copy, or Control Shift M in your keyboard. Let's go to move, and then let's find mirror a copy, which is Control Shift M, like I said, and then I can do that. Let's find the midpoint of this length, which is this side. I will say to mirror horizontal like that. There we go. Good stuff. I can now Control Shift D to carry a copy to there, right? And then we need to change this to be a straight cabinet. Let's open the settings, make sure the shape is just a straight shape, and then hit OK. We can come here and stretch this by clicking on one of the hotspots, and then use the move point or move node or stretch command to there. Perfect. So I need to repeat the same procedure on this side and then this side. So I would pick this element, and then while I'm still moving it, I'm moving the original element. I can hit Control to add a copy and then place it here. Click on one of the points, and then let's rotate it from the pad palette and click one of these points horizontal, vertically like that. Click the second point and then rotate it to horizontal, something like that. Let's pick this corner and then activate the drag tool, bring it there. Pick again this corner, and then while you are moving it, you can hit Control to add a copy to place it there. So you could see now we are left with a small space. Rather, we need to measure this distance of where we're going to fit this, and then spread this according to, or divide that space into 3, so that you can determine the size or the length of our cabinet. So if you hit M and then pick this point to here is around 2.4, it's 2.4, let's just say 2.4. So if I come here and then find, let's divide this 2.4 by 3, we get how much? It's around 800. So I would make these guys, select both of this, and then make the width to be 800. So come here on the info box and then type 800. right? I'll select this one and then pick this point, make sure the drag command is active, and then put it there. Do the same to this one, drag it, and then add a copy by control in your keyboard to wait for the plus sign, and then you can put it there. So I would select, add a copy or the selection by hold shift and then click on all the elements you want to select. Let's control shift M to activate the mirror copy, or just right click and then move and mirror copy, which is control shift M, like I said. So I'll find the midpoint of this. Let's find the midpoint of that, which is somewhere there, and then bring it horizontally like that. Perfect. So we have a complete setup for our closet, but we can add a little bit more details to this. All right, as it is now, it looks decent, but you can, why not add more details if there's that opportunity? So let's select all these cabinets by shift and hold and click on all these elements, right? And then open in settings again. Under these settings, what you need to do, let's find the parameter for, I can just click on this arrow and hope I would see that what I want, but it will take all my time. What I need to do is to click on this arrow and then find the 2D representation. Under this, I could change the detail level, 2D detail level, to be a symbolic, right? And I could come here and then find a symbol that will represent this or communicate this much better. I would go with this one, the open one, and then I can say show hanger. Why show hanger is not active? Let's see. Show hanger is not active. Oh my god, because I've used the wrong cabinet. Wow, I've used a wrong. So you cannot show hangers on this wardrobe. I know other wardrobes you could show your hanger. Let's see on no, not this one. I think it's this one. Let's see representation. No, it's not that. I think it's the last one. I think it's this one. Yeah, you have option to show a hanger. You have an option to show a hanger, and then you can also change to that. Control pen can be 2, but that it will horribly change our, because remember that we've had a corner there, but it's not fine. But sorry, what I'm trying to say, it's fine. We can change or set it to be what we want. So these ones, like we said, let's select them and make them 800. Okay, and then these two guys, I'm going to select them and change them to be a corner instead of let's go, just go back, or we can, yeah, here, let's change this to a corner, then hit OK. Right, I can select these guys and then move them right on the edge. Perfect, that's what I wanted to achieve. Okay, or this, I can stretch it all the way to there like I did for the other one. Perfect. So you see, now we have detailed wall wardrobes or closet, sorry. Right, so I could come here and then use, and I put an extra detail. I'll select under document, I'll select a polyline tool and then change the line type to be a dashed line type, and then I'll come draw it as a box. Let's change the geometry method to a rectangle. Let's just draw this. This is going to be just an indicative line, and then select this line, offset it from here. Let's make it yeah, make it 900 offset, and then I can push this one all the way to here by 300. This will be just indicative, yes, something like that. Okay, and we move on to the other space, which is the bedroom itself. Let's go back to the design tool palettes and object tool, open its settings, and what we need to do is to go here under the beds. No, not beds. We have furniture layouts, because if you go to here under beds, the beds are not you see, they're not in a complete layout. If you come here under furniture layout, you see a complete bed with the night side table, blah 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 blah, right? That's what we're looking for. So I'll select it, and then what I need to do here is just to make sure, let's see what I can set. I can say, let me show the lamps. I'll share the lamps on two sides. Okay, show the lamps on two sides. That's all I need to do. Or I can come here under the 2D representation. Let's just click on this arrow and then find 2D representation. Change this to symbolic and see what we can do there. I don't think there's enough of it we can do. I can just go with this one. Change the control pen to be 2. That's the only thing that I could do for the door. Hit OK to apply the changes and just place it. Alright, select it and then let's pick one of the points and rotate it to be horizontal like that. Pick this point, drag and position it to somewhere here. Okay, so we have a table here, a reading table. Let's do that. Go back, open its settings and then find a table. Let's find table folder and let's scroll down here and find a nice desk that we can do. I can use this one or even this one, right? For this one, 3D detail level I'll use full, and there are not much of parameters to set here. It's just about the 2D representation changes to be the same as the other objects, to be color 2, and then hit OK, place it there, right? Escape or activate the arrow tool so that you can select this, drag it to here. Make sure this fills. I'll stretch this by picking the point and stretch this all the way to there. And then I need to place the chair. Go back, open its settings, and find the chair folder under furnishings library. We could go with because it's a bedroom office chair, it would be something like that. Okay, for the chairs there's no much of it to do. We can just change the control pen or maybe the 2 detail level to be symbolic. Let's find under symbol what we can do. Wow, we have some options there, very good options. I'll go with this one. This we could use full for 3D detail level and then hit OK, place it there, something like that. We can drag it closer to our desk. Okay, so we have our bedroom complete. Let's move on to the in-suite. We're going to start with the toilet. Let's open the objects and open its settings, and we can search here again. We have the search bar. We can search for WC and it will give you all the types of water closet ArchiCAD provides. I think let's go with this one and then let's find something interesting. Let's preview it before we change that. So this is what we have. I think we can find something interesting. Let's go with this. Check. Yeah, not bad at all. Or maybe go back again here and then change this to there. Let's preview it again. Yeah, let's go for this one. Then I'll place it here. Select it and pick rotate in your pet palette. Rotate it horizontal like that. Pick this because this point indicates the side of the back side of your equipment, so I'll place it there. This one represents the connection point of your plumbing system, so normally you'd want to inject it or make it protrude or chase it to the wall like that. And you could see we have a clashing of our that we can reduce the size of this door, not necessarily to be 800, it can be 900, it can be 800, something like that, and then we can move it right almost closer to the wall to create enough space like that. Okay, we can have a basin here. Let's have a basin there. I'll open the object settings and then let's search for the basin. We have this cabinet basin, and we can I don't think we can have two basins. That's the problem with it. I want the one that I can use 2, which is this one. Okay, or not though. Let's go for this one and then come here under basin settings. We want to change the number of basins to be 2. Okay, and let's check other settings we can do. 2 detail level, let's make it full. Change the control pen to color 2, and yeah, that's it. We don't want to fill this background. Let's just leave it the way it is. Hit OK and then place it there. Select it, pick this point and then mirror by using this mirror tool on your pet palette, and then you can mirror it horizontal like that to the other side. And because we're gonna fill it on this distance, let's measure this distance by hitting M in your keyboard and then measure from there to there, which is 1650. So I'm gonna make this to be 1650 like that. So I'll Control D and move it to this corner like that. Okay, so I could see now our drawing is starting to get shape. We need to fix this issue of the shower. Let's again go back to the object tool, open in settings. Let's search for shower, and for the shower I want just a shower tray, not the whole unit or the cabin. I'll go for the shower tray, and then under symbol there are not really much of an option here. I'll leave it to the default, and there's really nothing you could change other than the control pen to make it color 2. We can say full resolution for the 2 detail level, and then hit OK. Let's place our shower there and make sure we rotate or mirror. I'll pick this point and then mirror like vertical, and then mirror again horizontal, yeah, and then pick this point, move it to the corner there, and I'll make it let's make it 1.1 or 1.2, 1200 millimeters. I want to leave a space for more like a bench here, so that someone can just sit again and do more like a sauna kind of. That we can achieve it by using a slab again. We can build it with a slab. I'll pick parameters of the slab instead of filling it with the tiles, because I'm going to say uncheck the cover fill, and then draw a box. Use a box geometry to place this. I'll pick this corner, and then diagonally I'll place it to there. Make sure that line slab is set to be on the front side, because there are slabs sitting on top of each other. To avoid this issue, we can right click and then say display order and then bring it to front. Okay, so I could see now it's transparent, because we could see the tiles for the underneath of slab. Instead of making it transparent, let's come here, and then I would say the slab is going to be a background instead of a tile. That's what it is. Now we have that. I need to have my door on top of this, because the door is the access to the shower. So I'll select this wall, right click on this wall, and then display order and bring it to front. You see now we have our door, and the representation is what we want. Okay, so that's basically our layout the way it is. It looks very okay. We're left with 2 objects here, the seating arrangement for the outside. So I'll activate again the object tool, open in settings, and then let's go back to this folders by clicking on this folder view subtype kind of, and then I want to go back to the table, and let's find a nice table for a nice coffee table. I just stretch this all the way. I will go with this coffee table, and I don't think there's really much to set here other than the contour pen, which is going to be color 2, of which is 0.15 millimeters. I'll hit OK and then place it here, and go back to objects, and let's find now a chair to complete our seating arrangement. So let's find an outdoor chair. I'll go with this one. This has different variation, but for now I'm not interested on that. I'm interested on the 2D detail. Let's make it full, or maybe symbolic. Let's check on the symbolic, and then what options we have. Wow, we have these options. I can go with let's go with this one, or maybe that one, right? And then change the contour pen to 0.13, hit OK. Let's place it there. I'm gonna select it, and then pick one of the points, rotate on your pet palette, rotate it horizontal, or maybe slant it a bit to make it interesting, and then let's drag it to here, and then I can mirror a copy to the side by using the midpoint of our table. Right click and then go to move, mirror a copy, use this as a mirror X line, and then vertically you place that. Okay, so in most cases, arrangement like this, you want to group them. So let's select all this and then come here under edit and grouping, and then hit group, or just hit Control plus G to group. Okay, so that for future, if you select it and then unsuspend, they are now grouped. Okay, so we also have a projection screen here with the what you call a table. So I'll go back to the object settings and let's find the cabinets. Where are the cabinets and shelving? There's this TV stand. There's this TV stand. There's really nothing much again on this one to set other than the representation. Set this to be symbolic. Let's check what we can set. We can go for this one and change the color to be consistent, and then place it here. Select it. Let's rotate it. Like I said, the back side of the object you'd see with a black dot, which is this hotspot. It indicates the back side of the object. I'll select it and then drag it to the point like that. Okay, it's now to place the TV. I would go back to the object settings and let's go under the, where is the TV located on this folder? So we could just come here on the search bar. Oh, sorry, search for TV like that. You'd have this flat panel. It's going to be wall mounted. I'll check this, and then for the representations, make the 2D to be full and check the pen to color 2 as the others. Then place it there, select it, and then let's rotate it according to our setup like that. Make sure it's positioned on the wall like that. You'd find on the 3D it's not sitting on the right height, because I could see here it says the base offset is 100, but the table is around 400 height. Okay, so we need to set this to be at a height of 400. Okay, gentlemen, that completes our tutorial. I hope you've learned a lot in this tutorial, gentlemen. And ladies, if you are really new, a beginner, and if you are been using the software for a while, you could see you can now produce high quality drawings without even breaking your bank. So I really appreciate if you made it to this stage, because I hope this video was engaging and you really learned a lot. And if you find it interesting, guys, make sure you share with those you think will benefit from it, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell to be notified for the new upload. We are trying our best, ladies and gentlemen, to provide or create better videos and better tutorials in every upload. Let's interact in the comment section. Let me know what you think about our tutorials so far. Where can I improve? Suggest topics for me to cover, because the demand, I'm supposed to be addressing the demand, right? So I really need to understand where, guys, you are struggling, and so that I can come as a solution. I thank you once again. Make sure to check the link to download this project file from our Patreon membership. Just buy us a coffee. It's just around $5, ladies and gentlemen. That gives us strength to continue creating videos like this. But as you could see, these videos take almost more than an hour. It takes a lot of time, and I need to have something aside in terms of the drinks to quench my thirst, right? I thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to check, because if you are using a template, guys, you don't have necessarily to go through this process of setting your graphics of your all elements that you are using in your project. With MS Beam template, professional template, everything is being set for you. It's just for you to place and save your drawing as a PDF. Whatever you're doing, the quality is already set as a standard. It doesn't necessarily to temper with this all advanced settings to create high quality drawings. It's just for you to focus on the architecture side, and then let the architecture, or sorry, the ArchiCAD software do the rest of the work. I thank you once again. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, and bye bye.